Shalom, Israel. Shalom, shalom. Brother Tharam coming at you with another cold cut. Giving first all honor and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Yahweh being the name of the Heavenly Father, who the world calls God. And Yahweh Shai being the name of the Messiah, the only begotten Son, who the world calls Jesus Christ. Right? And today on this cold cut, we're going to be getting into zeal, right? Being zealous, right? In the Hebrew, right? In the Paleo Hebrew, the word zealous is quana'awath, right? Quana'awath. That's the word zeal in the Hebrew, in the Paleo Hebrew. In the Strong's Concordance, it's H7068, right? H7068. And one of the definitions for the word zeal, right? Quana'awath, is a jealous disposition of a husband, right? Having a jealous disposition of a husband. Now, when we get into the scriptures, you understand that the Most High, his name is jealous, right? Let's get that in Exodus chapter 34 and verse 14, right? Exodus chapter 34 and verse 14 reads, "For thou shalt worship no other God, for the Lord, whose name is jealous, is a jealous God," right? For Yahweh, whose name is jealous, is a jealous God. So the Most High is jealous, right? And who is he jealous over? He's jealous over Israel. He doesn't want his chosen people to be serving any other gods, right? Let's get that again in Exodus 20 and 5. Right? The Lord not dealing with the Israelites worshiping any God that is not the Most High Yahweh. He don't want that, right? Exodus chapter 20 and verse 5, he says, "Thou shalt not bow down." So like, let me start at 4. It says, "Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in the heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I, Yahweh thy God, am a jealous God." See that? His name is jealous. He is a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. So the Most High is jealous. The Most High not dealing with that. He's not dealing with us bowing down to the damn cobblestones. He's not dealing with us bowing down to damn wooden crosses, right? That big damn Jesus statue in Brazil. The Lord not dealing with none of that. And he don't want us bowing down to it because he's jealous. And him and his jealousy, you don't want to know what's going to happen if you make the Most High jealous, if you continue to move him to jealousy, you know what I mean, with your actions. Right? This is Zechariah chapter 1 and verse number 14. It says, "So the angel that cometh," so the angel that communed with me said unto me, "Cry thou, saying, Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, I am jealous for Jerusalem and for Zion with a great jealousy." See that? He says, "I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease, for I was but a little displeased, and they helped forward the affliction." Right? So the Most High put us in the hand of these heathens because we went off. We served other gods. His jealousy, his jealousy had him put us in captivity to these other nations. But now he mad at the nations because, yeah, he put us in the servitude to them, but they went and forwarded the affliction, right? Meaning they went too far with the affliction. So the Lord in his jealousy, he's going to repay all of these nations that had us in captivity, right? Until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. See that? Now let's go to, because Israel is the bride, right? The Most High is jealous of Israel. Yahweh Shai being the bridegroom, Israel being the bride. The Most High don't want us serving other gods. He don't want us looking to different philosophies and different doctrines and doing anything outside of what he commanded us in this holy Bible, right? Isaiah 62 and verse 4. Isaiah 62:4 says, Thou shalt no more be termed forsaken, neither shall thy land be any more termed desolate, but thou shalt be called Hephzibah, and thy land Beulah. For the Lord delighteth in thee, and thy land shall be married. For as a young man marrieth a virgin, so shall thy sons marry thee. And as the bridegroom rejoiceth over the bride, so shall God rejoice over thee. Right? So what the Lord is saying is he's going to marry Israel back to our land. We're going to be remarried back to our land, right? And the bride is going to be married back to the bridegroom. Because as of right now, it's like a damn separation, right? We're down here, we're doing our best to get back to Yahweh Shai, right? We're hoping for the second coming of Yahweh Shai so he can set things in order, right? But as of right now, we don't have him on the earth, ruling the earth, right? In righteousness, like he's going to when the prophecies be fulfilled. So we're waiting, right? We're that bride that's preparing for the bridegroom. That's what we're doing right now. We're at that stage, right? Let me get this in Revelation 21, right? Revelation chapter 21 and verse number 2. It says, And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband, right? New Jerusalem, Israel, is that bride being adorned for her husband, right? And even when you jump down to verse 9, it says, And there came unto me one of the 7 angels, which had the 7 vials full of the 7 last plagues, and talked with me, saying, Come hither, I will show thee the bride, the Lamb's wife. You see that? So Israel is that bride, right? And he carried me away in the spirit to a great and high mountain, and showed me that great city, the holy Jerusalem, descending out of heaven from the Most High, right? So Israel, we're that bride, right? The Most High said his name is jealous. So for us to be zealous for the Most High, that means we have to be jealous for the Most High, meaning we have to be possessive of the Most High, right? The word jealous, when you go into the definition, is to be possessive of something, right? So we, as his people, need to be possessive of him. We can't just be letting all of these other nations just say and do what they want when it comes to the Most High. When it comes to these scriptures, we got to stand there and we got to contend for the faith, right? We got to put up that fight. You're not just going to say what you want about Yahweh Shai in front of me and I'm not going to say anything. No, we're going to contend for that faith. We're going to put forth that fight, right? Because we're possessive of this thing. We possessive over the Most High. We possessive over the Messiah. We possessive over our forefathers. You're not going to say what you want about Israel. You're not going to say what you want about Jacob, about Moses, about King David, King Solomon. You're not just going to say what you want. No, we're gonna say something about that, right? Because we're possessive, right? Now the Lord told us this in 1 Corinthians 14 and verse 39. He said, Wherefore, brethren, covet to prophesy, right? So we got to covet to prophesy. He says, and forbid not to speak with tongues. Then he goes on to say, let all things be done decently and in order. So letting all things be done decently and in order, we got to covet to prophesy. Now, the Lord said this, right? Let me get this in Salaki and Exodus, right? Exodus chapter 20 and verse 17 says, Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's, right? So you're not supposed to covet anything that belongs to your neighbor, right? But these laws and these commandments, these are yours, right? The Lord gave these laws and these commandments to us. So when he put that in the spirit of Paul to say covet to prophesy, he's saying that we're supposed to be possessive. We're supposed to go out there and prophesy whatever revelation he gives us, on these different prophecies, whatever understanding he gives us, whatever wisdom he gives us, we're supposed to covet to get that wisdom and that knowledge out there. We're supposed to covet to do these things. But he said, let all things be done decently and in order. So if your brother's out there teaching and you got a precept, you let them know you got a precept, but you don't just cut them off and just jump out there, you know what I'm saying, and run with whatever wisdom and knowledge you think you got. No, you got to do it decently and in order. You know, let the brother know you got a point, you got a precept, or whatever the case is, and you just kind of wait that thing out. But you don't just jump out of order and just do what you want. So we're supposed to covet the prophesy, right? Brother asks you if you want to teach and you feel like you apt to teach, you know, the spirit moving with you, then you better jump out there and teach, because we're supposed to be coveting the prophesy, right? Let me get this in Isaiah 59 and 16. Isaiah chapter 59 and verse 16, right? It says, and he saw that there was no man and wondered that there was no intercessor. Therefore his arm brought salvation unto him, and his righteousness, it sustained him. Right? In Israel right now, we got Yahweh Shai as our intercessor. Right? But we be going off so much that the Lord don't be dealing with us. Right? He don't be dealing with some of the stuff that we be doing. But at the end of the day, if you're keeping these commandments, he's going to bring that salvation unto us, right? And his righteousness is sustained him. Verse 17, for he put on righteousness as a breastplate and an helmet of salvation upon his head, and he put on garments of vengeance for clothing, and was cloaked with zeal as a cloak, right? Salakia, and was clad with zeal as a cloak, right? So we gotta be dressed, right? Going back to Ephesians 6, being dressed in that full armor of the Most High, right? That righteousness as a breastplate, right? That helmet of salvation upon our heads, right? And that and garments of vengeance, right? That we garments of vengeance, meaning when the Most High let his vengeance out on this earth, when he let his wrath down on this earth, he's going to put that spirit into his people. He's going to put that spirit into his elect, into his 144,000, and we're going to have that vengeance on us, right? Lord willing, we're a part of that number, right? And was clad with zeal as a cloak. And your cloak covers everything. So your zeal for the Most High got to cover all of that. Your zeal for the Most High got to cover your righteousness. Your zeal for the Most High is going to cover that salvation that he gives upon us. He's going to that cloak is going to cover you coveting the prophesy. That zeal, having that possession for the Most High, wanting to please the Most High and keeping his laws and commandments, that's going to cover you in all things, right? Because when you cloak with that zeal, you also got that faith to go with it. Because you're not going to have zeal without faith. Your faith is going to come in through your zeal. Because if you got faith that the Most High is with you, then you're going to act a certain way. You're going to operate a certain way. So if you got faith, or if you got zeal, then you got faith, because you can't have zeal without the faith. You're not going to do certain things unless you got faith that something else is going to happen with it, or something else is going to come with it. See what I'm saying? Right? So let's go into being zealous. Right? We're going to 1 Maccabees chapter 2 and verse 49. Right? 1 Maccabees chapter 2 and verse 49 says this. Now when the time drew near that Mattathias should die, he said unto his sons, now have pride and rebuke gotten strength, and the time of destruction and the wrath of indignation. So Mattathias is on his way out, right? And he's telling his sons, he's letting the sons know that, look, these Grecians, right, they're going to be coming with their wrath and all of that they got going on. And what did he tell his sons? Verse 50. Now therefore, my sons, be ye zealous for the law, right? Be zealous for the law. Be possessive. Be jealous. Be possessive for the law. That's what Mattathias is telling his sons on the way out, right? And give your lives for the covenant of your fathers. Call to remembrance what act our fathers did in their time, so shall ye receive great honor and an everlasting name. Right? And even to this day, right, brother bring up Judas Maccabees, hey, brothers get set on fire, right? That spirit get refreshed, right? You start wanting to, ready to go to war, ready to bring that vengeance out, right? We know we got to wait for the Most High, but having that zeal makes you want to go out there and do things, right? Zeal, I'm talking to the brother when we was teaching, brothers out there fishing, your zeal, when you asking Jake over and over and over again, and you got a minute for the word, hey, come find out who you are, right? Come find out how the Most High feels about you. Come find out your actual your nationality. Come find these things out. When we go out there and we do that time and time again, and Jake constantly like, nah, I'm good. In captivity, nah, I'm good. Nah, I got the word in my heart. Oh, I got a relationship with God. They say these things, and your zeal make you want to grab Jake up. Damn, sit him down and tie him to a chair and be like, look, man, this is your history, man. Like, get into this thing, man. Your zeal will start eating you up, and it'll make you want to do things. You know what I'm saying? It'll make you want to do things to your own brethren, right? But, God forbid. Let the Most High, do what he do in these situations, right? This is the book of John, chapter 2 and verse 13. Salaki. Yeah, John chapter 2 and verse 13. Now, Yahweh Shai got zeal, right? Yahweh Shai got zeal, and he displayed his zeal. And let's see what it say here. John chapter 2 and verse 13. And the Jews' Passover was at hand, and Yahweh Shai went up to Jerusalem, and found in the temple those that sold oxen and sheep and doves and changers of money sitting, right? So at that time, you had people doing like, you got to sacrifice your animals for your sins. So they had people out there selling goats and lambs, right? And these different animals for sacrifice. So a brother or a sister would know he about to commit adultery. He'll go buy the animal, go commit adultery, and then bring it to sacrifice it. Like, that's off, right? And changes of money. Because you have people coming from all over, and they damn swapping out currency and doing whatever it is they doing with the money, right? Let's read what Yahweh Shai did. Verse 14 again. And found in the temple those that sold oxen and sheep and doves and changers of money sitting. And when he had made a scourge of small cords, right? He went and made a scourge of small. He made it. He didn't go purchase one, right? He didn't go find a switch. No, he made a scourge of small cords, right? And you gotta be mad. You gotta be filled with zeal to sit down and make a scourge of small cords. And did what? And when he had made a scourge of small cords, he drove them all out of the temple, and the sheep and the oxen, and poured out the changers' money, and overthrew the tables. That's zeal right there. Damn, flipping tables and throwing money out and whipping people across their backs, right? And I'm led to believe this wasn't no 2-minute thing. This wasn't no 10-minute thing. He was out there getting it in, right? You would have thought he was damn throwing a tantrum or something, right? But no, the Lord got zeal. The Lord is he out there in all righteousness, right? Yahweh Shai's righteousness, his zeal ate him up. And he made that scourge. He got the whipping their ass and flipping over tables and damn throwing the money and whipping the animals and getting the animals up out of there, right? Verse 16, and said unto them that sold doves, take these things hence, make not my father's house an house of merchandise. See that? You're not going to make Yahweh's house a house of merchandise, right? You're not going to be doing wickedness in the house of the Lord, especially with his son around, right? Verse 17, and his disciples remembered that it was written, the zeal of thine house hath eaten me up. See that? The zeal of the house of the Most High, it ate up at Yahweh Shai. So he went out there and he whipped their ass, right? This is Psalm 69 and 8. This is where they got it from, right? This is where it's written. Psalm 69 and verse 8. It says, let not them that wait on thee, O Lord God of hosts, be ashamed for my sake. Let not those that seek thee be confounded for my sake, O God of Israel. Because for thy sake I have borne reproach, shame have covered my face. Right? Salakia. Come. In verse 9, it says, for the zeal of thine house hath eaten me up, and the reproaches of them that reproach thee are fallen upon thee. Right? So Yahushua brought that reproach upon them. Right? Made that scourge and got on them. Right? Because that zeal had ate them up. Right? In verse 10, I made sackcloth also my garment, and I became a proverb to them. Right? And Yahushua's fame, right? These different the Pharisees and the Sadducees, right? They mocked Yahushua, right? They kept doing their best to try to trip him up, right? And he was a reproach to them. But hey, at the end of the day, the Lord did what he had to do, right? That zeal ate him up, and he didn't just let it slide. He got in there and he did what he had to do for the name of the Most High, right? So what does that mean to us? That means we gotta follow suit, right? We gotta follow suit. We gotta do what we gotta do to magnify the name of the Lord, and not just let people say and do what they want, right? When you see your brother in sin, your zeal's supposed to eat at you, and you're supposed to tell your brother about his sin so he can repent, right? So we can all be on that one accord trying to seek salvation in this thing, right? Having that zeal, right? This is Mark chapter 5. I'm going to start at verse 25. And a certain woman, which had an issue of blood 12 years, and had suffered many things of many physicians, and had spent all that she had, and was nothing bettered, but rather grew worse, when she heard of Yahushua, came in the press behind and touched his garment, right? So you have a woman that's been, she had a issue of blood for 12 years. Issue of blood for 12 years. When a woman has an issue of blood or is on her menstrual, she's unclean, right? And this sister been dealing with this for 12 years. She's been seeking physicians, and she's been spending all her money, and ain't nothing got better. And in fact, it got worse, right? So now she hear about Yahushua coming, and the scripture says, when she heard of Yahushua, came in the press behind and touched his garment. The press is it's a multitude of people. She came through a multitude of people to touch Yahushua's garment, right? And verse 28, for she said, if I may touch but his clothes, I shall be whole. So she went through her faith, right? Her faith and that zeal in her to be possessive of the Lord, right? Knowing that he can heal her. She ran out there and she ran through all these people, right? She got an issue of blood. She's unclean. She's not even supposed to be touching people, right? But she knew that she had to get through that. She got through all of these people, right? And she touched the hem of his garment, right? She touched his clothes, right? And when she touched it, she knew she was going to be made whole. Verse 29, and straightway the fountain of her blood was dried up, and she felt it in her body that she was healed of that plague. You see that? That zeal to go out there and do what you got to do to seek the Lord, right? To seek his righteousness, to seek salvation, to seek the kingdom, to seek the righteousness. If that zeal is going to make you go out there and do what you got to do, right? Verse 30, right? And that's going to get you healed if you put forth that effort. Verse 30, and Yahushua, immediately knowing in himself that virtue had gone out of him, turned him about in the press and said, who touched my clothes? Right? Verse 31, and his disciples said unto him, thou seest the multitude thronging thee, and sayest thou, who touched me? Right? So Yahushua turned around and was like, who touched me? And the disciples is like, it's a whole multitude of people out here touching you. What you mean, who touched you? Right? What's happening? Verse 32, and he looked round about to see her that had done this thing. But the woman, fearing and trembling, knowing what was done in her, came and fell down before him and told him all the truth. Right? So she was scared. So she came down, she fell at her knees, and she told him what happened. Or she told him, that was her. Verse 34. And he said unto her, Daughter, thy faith hath made thee whole. Go in peace and be whole of thy plague. See that? So when you have that faith, when you got zeal, you can't, like I said, you can't have zeal without faith, because your faith is what drives your zeal. So her zeal to be healed, her zeal to be around the Most High, to get her healing, to do what she needed to do so she wouldn't be oppressed anymore, right? Going back to the gospel, the good news, right? That good tidings. She seeked the Lord, right? And she had her zeal push her to do what she had to do to get to him, right? Let's go to Matthew 20 and 30, right? Matthew chapter 20 and verse number 30. So like Matthew 20 and 30. It says, I'm going to start at 29. And as they departed from Jericho, a great multitude followed him. Verse 30. And behold, two blind men sitting in the wayside, when they heard that Yahushua passed by, cried out, saying, Have mercy on us, O Lord, thou son of David. Right? You got two blind men screaming out to the Lord, right? Have mercy on us, right? Verse 31, and the multitude rebuked them, because they should not, because they should hold their peace. But they cried the more, saying, Have mercy on us, O Lord, thou son of David. Right? So here it is. They crying out to the Most High. They crying out to Yahushua. Right? They blind. Two blind men sitting on the side of the road, crying out to Yahushua, have mercy on us. Right? And then the people is telling them, hey man, hold your peace, man. Be quiet. Right? Be quiet. But what's going to happen when you're zeal, right? When you're zealous to be around the Most High, or when you're zealous to be around His Son, and to be around the righteousness that His Son has to offer, right? Your zeal's going to increase. Multitudes telling them, chill out, be quiet. And what the scripture say? It said, and they cried the more, right? And they cried the more. And so that's what happens on another level when brothers is out there teaching, right? We out there teaching, and you got you got Jake scoffing against the word. You got Esau trying not to get the understanding. You even got Ishmael out there. You got these Christians. You got these Muslims, and they all want us to stop preaching the word. They want us all to stop going out and do what we got to do. And what happened? We start crying no more. We start shaking our hand even harder, because that zeal is going to jump on us to go out there and prophesy the words that the Most High gave to us, right? So they cried the more, saying, Have mercy on us, O Lord, thou son of David. 32. And Yahushua stood still and called them and said, What will ye that I shall do unto you? They said unto him, Lord, that our eyes may be opened. So Yahushua had compassion on them, right? And that's another thing, right? When you're having that zeal, the Lord's gonna have compassion on you. You got that zeal, and you fighting to touch His garment, right? You screaming amongst the multitude, and they telling you be quiet, and you screaming the more. The Lord's gonna have compassion on you, right? He's gonna see your afflictions, and He's gonna heal you, right? Verse 34. So Yahushua had compassion on them and touched their eyes, and immediately their eyes received sight, and they followed Him, right? And so when you do all of that, crying to the Most High, right? You go through the press to touch the Him and His garment. You go through all of that, and He heal you. You better follow Him after that. Don't just get your blessing or get what you want out of it and then go back into the world. Or you get what you want, like being an Israelite is a fad. Like it's something that's here today and gone tomorrow. No, you get what you get from the Most High. You better follow Him from then on, right? You should have been following from the gate, right? We all should have been following Him. But we was in the world, but through the grace and the mercy of Yahushua, we actually in this truth. We got some type of understanding. We wearing our fringes, brothers growing their beards out, right? These things that we do is through the grace of the Most High, but you bet not forsake this truth once you get what it is that you think you want. Keep your zeal up, right? And they followed him. So that's what it all is going down to, is we got to have that zeal for the Most High. We got to seek him, right? Because that's how you get healed in this thing, is by seeking the Most High. And I'm not talking about when you cut your finger, right? Or if you break your arm, that's how you get healed. I'm talking about on a spiritual level, that's how you get healed. You get healed from whatever trauma it is that you was dealing with. The Lord can heal you of these things. He can heal your spirit, and whatever demons you might have on you, the Lord can take these things away from you if you have a zeal for him. If you're possessive of the Lord. When you're possessive of the Lord and understand that the Most High is a jealous God, he's possessive over you and you're possessive over him, then that's it. That's a marriage, and that's an intertwine that can't nobody break up. But you know who can break it up? You and your wickedness, right? You and your pride and your selfishness, right? So we got to remember to remain humble in this thing so the Lord can have his possession over us, right? I'm going to go to 2 Maccabees chapter 2 and verse 23. 2 Maccabees chapter 2 and verse number 23. Salakia. 1 Maccabees 2 and 23. Salakia. First Maccabees chapter 2 and verse 23. Now when he had left speaking these words, there came one of the Jews in the sight of all to sacrifice on the altar, which was at Modin, according to the king's commandment. Right? So you got a Jew coming out to sacrifice according to this king, but not according to the Most High. Right? And he's doing this in the sight of all of Israel, right? And in the sight of all the Jews, right? Verse 24. Which thing when Mattathias saw, he was inflamed with zeal, and his reins trembled. Neither could he forbear to show his anger according to judgment. Wherefore he ran and slew him upon the altar. Right? So Mattathias saw this and he got so mad. Right? Scripture says he was inflamed with zeal. He's so mad, he's inflamed with zeal, and he ran up and he slew one of his own brethren. And he slew one of his own brethren for the Most High because of his zeal for the Most High. Because he was jealous. He was possessive over the Most High and the ordinances and the laws and the commandments and the statutes that the Most High gave us. And you, being my brother, I love you, but you're not about to disrespect the Most High in front of me and think everything is peaches and cream. It's not about to go down like that, right? Slew him upon the altar. And what else? Verse 25. Also, the king's commissioner who compelled men to sacrifice, he killed at that time, and the altar he pulled down. See that? That zeal got him so mad. He didn't kill his brother. He didn't kill the heathen. And he done broke down the whole altar that they was sacrificing in wickedness. You see that? Right? And in verse 26, thus dealt he zealously for the law of God, like as Phinehas did unto Zambri, the son of Salem. Right? And let's get that, because that's a main account too. Right? Numbers chapter 25. Right? And starting at verse number 6. And behold, one of the children of Israel came and brought unto his brethren a Midianitish woman in the sight of Moses and in the sight of all the congregation of the children of Israel, who were weeping before the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. So you got a Jake, right? You got an Israelite bringing a woman of the people who had a plague come upon them because they done moved the Most High to jealousy, right? The Most High got moved to jealousy because we were serving Baal Peor, right? Baal Peor, we serving these wicked gods, and the Most High put a plague on us. So now we didn't got rid of them, right? We got rid of them. Now we're weeping over the people who had to die in this consequence, right? In this consequence. And here go Jake bringing one of these heathen women around us right after we had to go through everything that we was just going through, right? I'm going to read verse 6 again. And behold, one of the children of Israel came and brought unto his brethren a Midianitish woman in the sight of Moses and in the sight of all the congregation of the children of Israel, who were weeping before the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. Verse 7, and when Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the priest, saw it, he rose up from among the congregation and took a javelin in his hand, right? And he went after the man of Israel into the tent and thrust both of them through, the man of Israel and the woman through her belly. So the plague was stayed from the children of Israel. See that? So his zeal had him go out there and kill one of his own brethren and his brother's wife, right? And this woman that he brought out. His zeal had him do that because we just got this plague off us. We just got a plague off of us from dealing with these people, and then here you go, gonna bring one of them around, and that zeal got the Phinehas, and that zeal had Phinehas take a long javelin and damn thrust both of them through. They gotta deal with it, right? Now, did the Lord get mad about this? Right? Was the Lord mad at Mattathias? Was the Lord mad at Phinehas for killing one of their own brethren, right? For doing some wickedness? Let's see. Verse number 11. It says, Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the priest, have turned away my wrath, right? Have turned my wrath away from the children of Israel while he was zealous for my sake, right? While he was zealous, while he was jealous, right? While he was possessive for my sake among them, that I consume not the children of Israel in my jealousy. You see that? Because serving other gods makes the Most High jealous of us. And if the Lord get jealous of you, and he get jealous of you serving another god, he'll destroy you. It's plain. The Lord don't be playing around with his people. He's not playing around with us, right? Let's get this in 2 Kings chapter 10. 2 Kings chapter 10, I'm going to start at verse 15. 2 Kings chapter 10 and verse 15. It says, and when he was departed thence, he lighted on Jehonadab, the son of Rechab, coming to meet him. And he saluted him and said to him, is thine heart right as my heart is right? Salakia. As my heart is with thy heart? Salakia. Is thine heart right as my heart is with thy heart? And Jehonadab answered, it is. If it be, give me thine hand. And he gave him his hand, and he took him up to his chariot, right? So you got Jehu, right? Jehu is going out. He meet with Jehonadab, and he says this in verse number 16, right? Now Jehu brings Jehonadab up into his chariot. Verse 16, and he said, come with me and see my zeal for the Lord. So they made him ride in his chariot. You see that? I'd be low-key confounded if a brother told me, right, hey, yo, come get in my car, come ride with me, and come see my zeal for the Lord. I'd be like, damn, what he about to do? If it's a brother I know, or if it's a brother I have a rapport with in righteousness, I'm gonna go see what's going on. What are we talking about? What you about to do? What we about to do? Like, let's get it in, right? Come see my zeal for the Lord, right? And he took him, so they made him ride in his chariot. Verse 17, and when he came to Samaria, he slew all that remained unto Ahab in Samaria, till he had destroyed him, according to the saying of the Lord, which he spoke to Elijah, right? And Jehu gathered all the people together and said unto them, Ahab served Baal a little, but Jehu shall serve him much, right? So you had Ahab. Ahab was the king, and he was serving Baal, right? Making the Lord jealous. So he's serving Baal, And Jehu said, look, 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 Ahab was serving Baal a little, but I'm going to serve him a lot. Watch how he doing. Watch how he doing. Verse 19, now therefore call unto me all the prophets of Baal, all his servants, and all his priests. Let none be wanting, for I have a great sacrifice to do to Baal. Whosoever shall be wanting, he shall not live. But Jehu did it in subtlety, to the intent that he might destroy the worshipers of Baal. You see that? You see that level of zeal? Where Jehu told the people, look, I'm about to serve Baal. I'm about to do a great sacrifice to Baal. Make sure you bring all of the worshipers, all of the prophets of Baal, right? Everybody that loves Baal, you bring them out. Y'all come on out, right? And I'm about to do this major sacrifice. So I need y'all to come out here and do this. And he did it real subtle. That was subtle. That was subtle words that he used. He lied to these people, right? Verse 25, I'm going to jump down to 25. It says, and it came to pass, as soon as he had made an end of offering the burnt offering, that Jehu said to the guard and to the captains, go in and slay them, right? Let none come forth. And they smote them with the edge of the sword, and the guard and the captains cast them out and went to the city of the house of Baal. And they brought forth the images out of the house of Baal and burned them. And they break down the image of Baal and break down the house of Baal and made it a draught house unto this day. Thus Jehu destroyed Baal out of Israel. You see that? He destroyed everything, all of the images, the house, anybody that worshiped him. He destroyed everything. He made a false sacrifice just to get them, you know what I mean? Just to get the people into it, to see who was really, you know, in that thing in wickedness. He got them all in there, and then he told his men, he told his officers and his captains, all right, kill them all. And they slayed all of them with the edge of the sword. That's zeal. That's having a zeal for the most, being jealous of the Most High. Y'all want to serve this wicked idol? Come on, let me do a sacrifice for this wicked idol. Do this false sacrifice. All right, now kill everybody that was out here damn worshiping and bowing down to this wicked idol. And then on top of that, go to the house, destroy all the images, and destroy the house, and get Baal up out of Israel. You see that? Zeal, right? Lord willing, I get a zeal for the Most High, and when that day comes, I'll have a zeal, and when it comes to hunting season, I'll be one of those hunters, Lord willing. Everybody, every brother that's watching this video, you'll be a hunter too, right? Come see my zeal for the Lord. That's mighty, right? Now we're going to go to 1 Samuel chapter 17 and verse 33, right? 1 Samuel 17 and 33, talking about King David. 1 Samuel chapter 17 and verse number 33. And Saul said unto David, thou art not able to go against this Philistine to fight with him, for thou art but a youth, and he a man of war from his youth. And David said unto Saul, thy servant kept his father's sheep, and there came a lion and a bear and took a lamb out of the flock. Right? Now, just stepping back, Saul's telling David, right? You got King Saul telling David, you're not about to fight against yo. He a whole, first of all, he a whole, you know, damn giant of the Philistines, right? Big dude, right? And you ain't nothing but you a youth, right? You a young dude. You're not even a man yet, right? And you think you're going to go against him? He's been going to war since he was your age. He a whole man of war, and you a youth. Now, David's telling him, look, what do you say? Thy servant kept his father's sheep, and there came a lion and a bear and took a lamb out of the flock. Verse 35, and I went out after him and smote him and delivered it out of his mouth. And when he arose against me, I caught him by his beard and smote him and slew him. Right? So King David is, he wasn't even king at the time. As a youth, David is out here slaying lions, right? Grabbing them by the beard, slaying them, right? Smoting them and slaying. He's smoting and slaying lions at his youth, right? Verse 36, thy servant slew both the lion and the bear. And this uncircumcised Philistine shall be as one of them, seeing he had defiled the armies of the living God. Do you see that? David told Saul, look, I killed the lion and I killed the bear, right? And this uncircumcised Philistine, he gonna catch the same fate because he's talking against the armies of the living God. We're not having that. His zeal ate him up. I'm not gonna sit back and let him say what he wanna say about us. We're the children of Israel. We're the princes of God. And we are not a people to be mocked at. We are not a people to fear anybody. His zeal ate him up because you're not going to talk. You're not going to talk and open your mouth like that against the armies of the living God. That's zeal. He's zealous. He's jealous and he's possessive over his God. He's possessive over his people. See that? Verse 37. David said, moreover, the Lord hath delivered me out of the paw of the lion and out of the paw of the bear. He will deliver me out of the hand of this Philistine. And Saul said unto David, go, and the Lord be with thee. Right? Go, and Yahweh will be with thee. So at the end of the day, David had that zeal. He had that zeal. And like I said, you can't have zeal without faith, because faith, your zeal is going to have you do things. And your faith with the zeal is going to have you believe that certain things is going to happen the way they're going to happen. So he had that faith that, look, if the Most High brought me out of the paw of that bear, and the Most High brought me out the paw of that lion, he going to bring me out the hand of this damn wicked, uncircumcised Philistine. I'm not worried about it because my faith and my zeal for the Most High is going to trump any fear that I may have. And that's how we got to be in these last days. We got to be zealous for the Most High. We got to be possessive of the Most High, right? We got to defend the gospel. We got to defend any and everything that wants to oppose this truth. Whether it be Christianity or Islam or these other nations coming up and scoffing against the word, we got to contend for the word. You see your brother having demons hopping on him, you got to get in there and get that spiritual warfare in with your brother to get them demons off of him, right? You see your wife or your child kind of, things falling out of place. Hey, you got to set things right, put things in decently and in order, right? So our job is to be possessive of the Most High. We got to take these laws, these statutes, these commandments. We got to hold them dear. We got to be possessive of it. We got to be jealous of anything that wants to come up against it. And we got to fight in this thing, right? We got to be ye zealous for the law. Be ye zealous for the faith of Yahweh Shai. Be ye zealous for Yahweh Shai at all costs. And with that, Kwam Yasha'Allah, Kwam Yasha'Allah, Kwam Yasha'Allah, Shalom.